listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
I'm Daryl.
And this is The Announcer's Table, presented by RingIcon.com. You can check out the podcast every Friday. We're doing it on RingIcon.com/podcast. You can also check it out on YouTube.com/RingIcon. And you can also get the podcast and subscribe to it on iTunes. So just search Ring Icon in the iTunes store, and you'll be able to check it out. As you notice, we got Daryl back on the table. How are you feeling this week?
Well, you know, I feel a lot better this week. I was not feeling too good last week. I barely made it through the interview process.
Yeah. So I'm happy you're back because I'm sure y'all enjoyed a solo show, but
I'm sure they did.
It's not as good as commentary back and forth. So, but last week I talked about different ways you can integrate social media to improve your promotions. Also talked about ways to integrate social media into your gimmick or your character, and separate the two. If you didn't hear that, you can go back and check that out. We also had a great interview with Chad Fuller, the promoter of NEW in Subligna, Georgia. So that's what we did last week. I was by myself some of the time, but Daryl was in there for the interview. So it was a good show. If you missed it, go check it out.
Yeah, well, upcoming today's show, I'm pretty excited about today's show. We're going to talk a little bit about the pros, about the pay-per-view that just happened. We're going to talk about some Ring of Honor news. They got a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about some refereeing stuff. This is going to be kind of neat. So I'm looking forward to the show we got today. Hopefully y'all are too. Right now, let's just talk about some Ring Icon news. You got anything for us, Ian?
I just want to mention again, like I did last week, just in case you missed it, we just launched the Ring Icon app for Android phones. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to get the iTunes or iPhone app up. But right now, if you have an Android phone, you can go download the Ring Icon app, and you'll be able to get the latest podcasts and videos, and you'll be able to connect to the website a lot faster that way. So it's pretty cool. So if you have an Android phone, you can search Ring Icon in the App Store. And it might be a few down because it's a brand new app, but check it out. It should be up soon. I mean, it is up now, but
I can't wait for the iTunes one for the iPhone.
Yeah, it's a little more work to get that done, so it'll just take another couple weeks. So we'll get that done though.
Okay.
Yeah, but what do we got going on for Promotion Builder this week?
Well, I was thinking this week in Promotion Builder we could talk about how to promote your brand.
Right.
Because I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking brand, I'm just trying to promote a show and this and that and the other. But my thing is everything you do, everything that you want to represent with your show is all a brand.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about you and what you can do to promote yourself, your show, the wrestlers, the fans, everybody. And so I just want to talk about something about that. Do you have any takes on what do you think about it?
Well, I just want to say first is with the brand, one thing I kind of mentioned last week is branding yourself or branding your promotion, make everything uniform and make everything so that it's easy to come across, I mean, when you put it out there, you don't want people to be confused because everyone has ADD nowadays. You know what I mean? Pretty much to where if you don't catch their eye in the first 10 seconds, you're going to lose them,
Yeah.
So that's why I brand yourself, make sure you have a good logo. I'm sure somebody in your organization or somebody that's associated with you, somebody does logos or something like that. And, test a couple different logos out with guys, check it, post it on your Facebook page and let people really nail down a good logo before you go branding yourself across town, because it's just really important for people to recognize that symbol for your brand.
Yeah.
And
is that like another way to as far as branding is like colors. You want to have like a good color scheme. Mm-hmm. You want to stick with the same color scheme. That way, simply when people see a wrestling poster or a flyer and they see those colors, then they know, oh, hey, you know what? I know such and such promotions coming to town. I'm excited about them. You know, things like that. You know, I mean, that's what people get excited for.
Yeah.
So I remember back in my day, the way they did branding, it wasn't so much of different promotions because they all used the same wrestling poster, and it was just 3 colors. It was like the red, yellow, and white, kind of like rainbow type poster that hung up on all the phone booths and poles and everything else. And so anytime I remember as a kid, I would get excited because I'd see that tricolor poster, and I'd be like, Dad, wrestling's coming to town, you know, and be so excited for it.
Yeah,
so,
and it's just that visual thing that you remember, that brand that you knew that was a wrestling thing, you know. So if you have a logo and you're posting it on a convenience store or something like that on the wall, you know, make sure that your logo is top center so that they know that it's you, that you're putting on this show at this date. You know, don't put dates down at the very bottom in like tiny letters. Make it bold and so that people know that you're coming this date. You know.
Yeah.
And so
now let's talk about some things on how to brand and to promote your brand. One thing that I know that I've seen is like that I think every promotion should do. We've talked about this. Is flyer the area you're going to be in.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're doing a promotion and you can actually be in a place where you're from, that's going to be better for you. But if you're doing it in a place you're not from, that you're just going up and you're traveling, you're running the show somewhere else, flyer the area. Go up there the day before. You know, throughout the week or a week or so before the show out. If you run every week, you want to go up there a couple of days before.
Yeah.
If you go run every other week, you know, at least a week before. You want to get some flyers out there everywhere that'll let you flyer.
Yeah.
One thing that I like that I've seen several shows do is there's a Walmart everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and so talk to the managers at Walmart. Don't just go up and think you can do it. You need to get permission first. But have a thing where you set up a table outside. You pass out flyers and get some of your big names that wrestle your promotion, some of your big babies that draw, get them to come up there, you know, and sell pre-tickets, advanced ticket sales. And that could help boost your door, boost your money, and could possibly get the boys in the back some money.
Yeah, and do that anywhere that you have any type of connection. If you know somebody that's the manager of the Walgreens or the CVS or whatever store there is, you know, if you know somebody in the department or in the store, go ahead and talk to them and see if, you know, you can do that one afternoon.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's a great way for fans just walking by and seeing the show. You know, seeing what's going on, seeing wrestlers, kids can get excited. They'll be like, oh, we didn't know there was wrestling in town, or we didn't know y'all did this, you know, and the kids get all excited about it. Oh, can we get our picture made with a wrestler?
Yeah.
You know, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I remember liking it, and I remember I've been a part of several of the Walmart, you know, setups where we selling advanced tickets and passing out flyers and stuff like that. And now I'm not saying go and solicit and just put flyers on everybody's car in the parking lot because you can get in trouble for that. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, and
that draws negative
yeah,
stuff
and
to
people
brand.
get pissed off at you. So I mean, usually that's not a good method of promoting your business. So I mean,
What do you think other than like setting up places that you know and flying out beforehand? What would you recommend doing?
Definitely promoting yourself. I talked a little bit about it last week with social media. I mean, throw your flyer all over social media, any type of social media. I know I named a few like Facebook, Twitter, Ring Icon, things like that. But anywhere, forums, anything like that, you can post your flyer to. I mean, do it. You know, I mean, you can never have enough or too many flyers out there. And if you can afford it, I would say go with a colored flyer because one, it's going to make you stand out against the others if there are 2 other shows running in your town. You know, a colored flyer in the window will draw their attention directly to your flyer instead of somebody else's that's black and white. You know, I mean, I understand black and white's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to get out there, but I would say, you know, go with really go with a 11 by 17 flyer instead of the 8.5 by 11. You know, just one small sheet. I mean, and also with the flyers like that, I'm sure we're going to talk about flyers, particularly in one segment in a couple weeks. But I mean, you know, make sure it's colored, make sure it's big, and, you know, do a couple really good prints and give them out during the show. I mean, I know that doesn't have a whole lot to do with promoting, but it's another thing that you could do during intermissions, like we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Especially let the boys in the background; they're just as much a part of the brand, as anybody else. So you definitely want to get them to help promote the show, talk about the show, post it on their Facebooks, post it on their Ring Icon profile, anywhere they can think of, their Twitter, anybody that is following them, get them to talk about it at other shows, and just help build up your show.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers that. You have anything else you want to add to that?
Other than, just getting that flyer out there, I mean, and, other ways to promote is like definitely try to get on the radio. The radio is a pretty easy thing to get on now, especially with smaller local stations. I mean, some of the bigger stations you might not be able to, but look into maybe some of the AM stations, around your town, because they run a lot of ads.
Newspaper. Speaking of ads, see if you can get like the Thrifty Nickel or something's what it's called, or the little there's the good newspaper that you find in like a lot of places and. So like that, get a little ad. I know they're not that expensive, and
I mean it's all to build the brand and to build up your promotion. So I mean any type of advertisement you can do, to get your promotion out there. But I mean one thing I mentioned last week is have a website, but make sure that the website is bold and put onto the flyer so that people can go and see more information about it. So.
Exactly. All right. Well, this week we're going to a segment called the Pros, and a couple things happened. The pay-per-view for WWE Payback happened.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one match in particular, or one part of a match in particular. In that, and I also want to talk about some Raw this week, which I thought was. I know you was at work and you really didn't get a chance to watch it, but I was texting you and blowing you up because I mean Raw this week. To me, was a really good episode. But let's go to the pay-per-view first. The thing I want to talk about, one, I want to say I'm happy. Curtis Hawkins, Curtis Hawkins, wrong Curtis. Curtis Axel got the Intercontinental title.
And that's awesome. That's probably gonna lead to a pretty big push for him. They didn't want to probably just throw him directly into world heavyweight title or something like that.
I think he needs some more time for that.
Well, I mean, I kind of thought that's where they were heading. I thought they were gonna just throw him into a huge push just right off the bat, being a Paul Heyman guy. But I mean, I'm glad that's not the case. They'll start him out with even though they're giving him the Intercontinental title pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess you could almost say it's a perfect situation. You like what I did there?
No.
See there? Perfect.
I see what you did, but I don't like it.
But either way, I like the fact that he's getting pushed. I enjoy him as a character so far. I like the fact that Paul Heyman is backing him.
Because I don't think he has the mic skills, which is a segment.
Yeah,
which is what we're going to talk
about that coming up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the Gimmick Builder, but I don't think he has the mic skills that that he should have for being WWE. So that's why Paul Heyman's a big asset to him.
But the big thing I want to talk about on the pay-per-view, or the one segment I want to talk about, is the ambulance match.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know if y'all have been in ambulances. Unfortunately, I've been in a couple. I seem to be a little accident-prone. Not sure why. Just happens to me. Okay? And they just... Now, I know Ryback and John Cena are big dudes. Okay? I know that they, are strong and big and all that.
Yeah.
Okay? But...
they took it a little
they
too
shouldn't
far.
be able to just pick apart...
An ambulance.
I mean, come on. If this ambulance was on the road, I would fear for my life being in the ambulance. You know what I mean? Would you not? I mean, it's crazy. And then just to pick the paneling off and the door off and the... But the best part...
A large clump of hail falling would destroy
you'd be
this thing.
dead, Like a pebble flies up, blows up the whole ambulance, you know? But the crazy thing to me... And this is how the match was won. John Cena picks up Ryback and slams him through the roof of the ambulance, and he just kind of goes through. That's it. That's the end of the match.
I guess it's a good gimmick, though. but at the same time...
Come on, man. How many ambulance matches have we seen? Have we ever seen any ambulance match that they've had that they could just pick apart the ambulance?
No, but going through the ambulance, I guess it kind of...
all right, you know what? I'll admit, that's kind of cool. Haven't seen it done like that before.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
no, I agree. I mean, it's kind of iffy, but at the same time, WWE is all about the show and the entertainment now. So, I mean, I guess it works for WWE. Yeah. But overall, I think it's all right.
I think it's a little crazy. All right, now let's talk about Raw this week, dude. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
I hear it.
I'm excited.
I feel the pump coming off of it.
I mean, Raw this week was phenomenal. Okay. I'm going to give it easily a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
9 out of 10. I mean, I haven't been, this is something about a Raw in a long time. And I try to watch Raw every week, and
maybe
and get
the Raw.
it.
Maybe the Raw after WrestleMania. That one was really.
That one was really awesome.
It just,
but this not being, it's coming off a pay-per-view, but it's still a Raw, and it wasn't that big of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right. Now, granted, the Chicago crowd is freaking insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, but all right. So let me tell you. All right. So the show starts off. You got Vicky Guerrero, and
which I can't stand.
I cannot think of the dude's name that's running with her now. Her little He was the referee that turned bad or something there for a minute, but she's like the supervising manager right now of Raw, and so they got some big surprises and stuff coming up. And the cool thing I thought, and which we have talked about, they need some kind of fresh faces, that we haven't seen in a while, just something to kind of rejuvenate the brand a little bit.
Which they started that with Curtis Axel.
Yeah, with Curtis Axel.
And then they brought back CM Punk, at the pay-per-view. So that kind of helps out a bit. But, I still felt like they needed some bigger...
They brought back Christian. And I was excited. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think it's a good
I was excited because he's back. But part of me was also kind of bummed because there's no build-up.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see a little bit of a character change with him. Besides the whole Captain Charisma thing.
Is there anything different?
No, he had the same look. He looks a little bit older. But he's been out like a year, and he's been in the business for 20 years. So, the age is starting to take its toll on him.
Yeah.
But, I was excited he came back. CM Punk was there. He came out and addressed Alberto Del Rio because Alberto talked about how he's the best in the world, and, of course, CM Punk has a problem with that. I know y'all know Paul Heyman almost cost CM Punk a match at the pay-per-view. Well, then Paul Heyman, as CM Punk was talking to Alberto Del Rio about them fighting tonight, that he knows he's not getting a title shot tonight, he just wants to fight.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman was trying to, get on the mic saying, my client doesn't fight for free, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And pretty much CM Punk's like, no, shut up, more or less. And so then the match gets set. Vicky comes out, sets the match up, that stuff. And so then a later on segment, you see CM Punk and Paul Heyman in the back, and CM Punk's like, you know what? I'm always going to be a Paul Heyman guy, but I don't need you at my side at ringside anymore. Yeah. So pretty much telling me, one, they turned Alberto Hill last night, or on Monday night, and then they're turning CM Punk more baby.
Right.
With the whole why he's dropping Paul Heyman.
Well, and they were in Chicago, so...
Yeah, and they're in Chicago.
It's easier to turn him baby in Chicago because he was already getting the pops.
Yeah, because it was already going to... that's... All right, anyway, so I'm going to talk about just this storyline first, and then later on the show, as CM Punk's going out, Paul Heyman stops and says, you know what, I understand, what's going on. Nobody else may understand what we got going on, but I understand. And I'm sitting there thinking, in my head, I'm like, what would be cool? Man, it's like, if something happens and Paul Heyman just screws him or something, I'm like, that'd be kind of a cool story concept.
Yeah.
But, so the match comes out. It's a good match, good back and forth. Then Alberto Del Rio gets himself counted out. Dolph Ziggler comes out of nowhere and freaking flies off the stage at Alberto Del Rio and just That was just insane, and it looked
which is good because I mean he's been out on injury for a little while.
Well,
so.
he wrestled at the pay-per-view and lost the title to Alberto, and so he was coming back because Alberto really did a number on him at the pay-per-view, like aiming for his head because the whole concussion angle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the thing was, Brock Lesnar's music hit because CM Punk was still in the ring. Brock Lesnar's music hit. And I'm sitting there thinking, no way. This, no. Maybe he's going to come out with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's going to try and persuade him to. But no, Lesnar circles the ring, gets in the ring, gets in the mic, walks right up to CM Punk, pulls the mic up, and it drops and F5s him. And that's it. and walks at the stage. And so I'm excited about this to see, what happens.
I'm interested to see how a feud between Brock Lesnar and CM Punk goes because I mean they kind of have two different wrestling styles, so I'm interested to see what they could pull off in a match. But I mean, I kind of thought that with CM Punk and Undertaker. I didn't think WrestleMania was going to be as spectacular with him just because Undertaker, he has a different style than CM Punk. I didn't know how well they would mesh.
But it was a match of the night.
Yeah, it was an amazing match at WrestleMania. So I mean, Lesnar and CM Punk, I think, will be a pretty good feud.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I think top to bottom, easily one of my most favorite Raws in a really, really long time.
Well, on Raw, I know they announced it on the pay-per-view,
but
did they announce it?
I know you're excited about this.
Obviously, they are promoting RVD coming back. Yeah. So I'm one of my top wrestlers of all time. So RVD coming back in. I'm hoping he comes back in maybe as a heel, as a Lesnar guy. I mean, not as a Heyman guy, and maybe he could feud with CM Punk because I think him and CM Punk would put on some amazing matches.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I would love to see that. I know RVD is supposed to be back on a short contract, so we'll see who they feud him with. But
I heard he's mainly only going to do like pay-per-views, Raws, not too many like live events.
Yeah. And
his contract is like for maybe a year or something.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure how long it was.
Well, any time is good for me.
Just to have him in there is exciting.
Well, he's coming back at Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank pay-per-views. He's coming back.
Is he coming back in the Money in the Bank? I mean, match?
I don't know. I haven't really heard. So, if y'all know, hit us up. Drop us a line.
Yeah, because that would.
I know.
That'd be cool if he got the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, he has a year to cash it in.
Now I did hear that they have a feud already set up for him. Oh, another thing I want to talk about. Just how excited Raw was. All right, so
taking the segment a little long.
Mark Henry has been like tweeting out cryptic messages talking about retiring and stuff like that. John Cena. This is why I'm so excited about this part because it involves John Cena and all y'all know me now. I'm not a big John Cena fan as far as, in general. So, John Cena's out in the ring, flapping his gums, how he normally does. Wearing that stupid shirt, the champ is here, kind of, whatever. So
don't get too excited. Don't mark out for him.
Mark Henry comes out, and he's wearing this outfit, man. Just like pink blazer. Not really pink. It's like an off pink. I don't even know what color it is. I mean, guys only know 16 colors, really.
Salmon.
That's the color I didn't know.
Yeah, it's probably salmon.
He probably learned that from his girlfriend.
Probably.
But so he comes out to the ring, and John Cena's going to give him his spotlight.
Yeah.
But Mark Henry's like, no, John, you know what? This involves you too. And John Henry's giving like this emotional speech, and I got to admit, the guy deserves an Emmy. He's like crying on camera, and I'm choking up because I'm buying into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like hook, line, and sinker. They got me hooked. I'm like, I'm getting all emotional. I'm like, man, he's been with the company, with WWE since 95, 96, 95, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, in and out, though. But,
and so, I'm buying right into it. I'm kind of saying, I'm like, man, he's really going to retire, because when he walked out, he left his boots, like, at the top of the ramp. And I'm like, oh, man, it's kind of funny. He's talking about John Cena and the only title he's never held happens to be that particular title. And he's held every other title in WWE. And so, he's talking about his daughter and his sons and his wife. I think he spend more time with them, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so, he ends it, and John Cena comes in, and they raise their hand with the belt, and then, John Cena goes to hug him, and it looks like, Mark Henry goes to hug him, but no, he picks him up and freaking, slams him down.
Yeah.
And he rips the jacket off. He's like, I got more left in the tank. I'm coming. So pretty much he's coming for that title.
Yeah.
And it was all a ruse, and it was like, man, I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I enjoyed the segment. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah.
Mark Henry's a funny dude.
Sexual chocolate.
Yes, sexual chocolate. That's
Sexual chocolate.
His son, the Hand, is going to come back.
Oh, God.
But, but I mean, so I'm excited because he's going to feud for that. And,
I hope they give it to him for a little while, just maybe a couple weeks or so. But I don't
know. I'm excited to see Cena get his butt whooped.
Yeah.
So I guess that means the feud with him and Ryback's going to be over. So
yeah.
Maybe RVD's going to feud with Ryback over singlets being airbrushed. So who knows? All right, we spent too much time on that, but overall, I really just enjoyed Raw. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that you really didn't get to watch it. You need to go back and check it out on YouTube.
They always replay Raw and SmackDown every Saturday night on Science Channel.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Or Science or Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. They play them back to back on Saturday nights. SmackDown to Raw and then Raw to SmackDown, and they do it
I didn't know that.
all night long. So yeah, I mean, I'll catch back up.
Excuse me. All right. Well, as we talked about earlier, in Gimmick Builder, we're going to be talking about mic skills.
Yeah.
Okay. This is obviously a very important thing. All right, because if you can't talk, you need to have somebody with you as a manager, valet, something that
AKA
can talk.
A mouthpiece is what the business calls it. Have a mouthpiece that can talk. If you can't do it, practice it, but have a mouthpiece, a manager that can do it for you.
Now, we know, for example, we know some wrestlers can talk very Hill.
Yeah.
But they can't talk baby.
Yeah.
And vice versa. We know some that can talk baby, but can't, for the life of them, talk Hill.
I mean, I'll be one to admit it. I'm not that great on a microphone. Get me in the ring. I was pretty decent as a wrestler, but on the microphone, I'm not a good baby on the microphone just because I have an angry voice. So when I'm not smiling and when I'm not doing customer service, I have an angry voice or I have an angry look on my face. And so, but I'm a nice guy. I just don't pull off baby very well in the mic sense. So
no, I mean, I remember thinking, because honestly, that's what I was thinking of when. But I wasn't going to throw your name out there. I wasn't going to throw
it's okay. You can throw me on.
But I mean, Ian, he can speak as a Hill. You know, he just has when he gets on a mic, he's just very methodical and just has that Hill. You have that Hill sense about you. And so I remember thinking, because he was a baby pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
That he was a wrestler, and so we never got to. But there's some wrestlers that are really good on the mic. And some of them just kill it. They're just so awesome. Like, obviously, The Rock is really good on the mic. His mic skills. One of my new top 5 wrestlers, Kevin Steen, even though he's Canadian, is fabulous on the mic. I mean, John Cena. Okay, I'll give it to him. Is really good on the mic.
Sometimes,
but at least he does come up with stuff on his head. Rock has to have this stuff wrote down.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, as long as you deliver the message and you get your gimmick across, if you have to write it down, if you have to memorize your scene, I know a lot with the Indy scene is just going to be, coming up with it on the fly, but if your promoter or your booker really has something set out for you, practice it, come up with a couple different things and, play it out, write some things down.
Yeah. And think about what your character is, think about if you're Hill, if you're baby, what your character is, how you want to come across. And
if you're a heel, you don't have to always result to just insulting the person. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people do that. It's just you go straight into just insulting the person, and it just kind of gets boring. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every indie heel out there is just insulting the fans, insulting other wrestlers. So, I mean, if you can come up with different ways, to avoid that and still come off as a heel, go for that. Obviously you're going to have to say something about the other guy, but you don't have to just completely.
Well, the main point is don't be afraid if it's your character, your gimmick.
Think about it.
Okay, yeah, think about what you want it to be, what you want to stand for, what you want to say, and then practice different things. Look in the mirror. You know what? Record yourself. Everybody now pretty much has a laptop. For the most part, they all now have webcams on them. Yeah. Record yourself. Okay, get in character, record yourself, do whatever, anything, and just talk and just work it out and think of things that work, things that don't work. If you already know who you're going to be wrestling this week, if it has proper build-up, if you already know who you're going to be working, get on there and do, practice promos.
Yeah.
Okay? And cutting out promos and stuff like that. So, I think that's a big thing, is really work on it. You want to work on your craft.
Yeah.
Anything you do, you want to be the best at. And so that's my whole thing. It's just practice, make it work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, definitely. You're going to just need to practice your gimmick, your character, and, webcam or, camera phone, everybody, you have a way, or do it in front of your spouse or your partner or your kids or whatever. Honestly, your kids, if you can't entertain them, or, if you can't do it to the point where that they either understand it or they don't, if you do it and they don't understand it, then your crowd's not going to be able to understand it as easily, or, so if your kids can pay attention, obviously not a kid under 5 or something like that, but kids, that are a little older, practice your gimmick in front of them. They'll give you dead honest truth. Dad, you look silly. Dad, you're coming off too mean, or, something like that. Your kids will be dead honest with you.
Well, you know what's funny is, talk about practice for your kids. When, I lay my kid down for a nap. My son's 3, and when I lay him down for a nap, he used to want to be read bedtime stories. Well, I don't want to sit down and read a whole bedtime story, so I want to get creative. And so, I come up with different characters, and I'll act them out in character. Yeah. And so he sits in bed, he's all mesmerized, and he's laughing. And some of them he likes, some of them he don't like. The ones I can tell he likes, he always asks for again.
Yeah.
So get an audience, somebody, an audience is in a spouse, friend, whatever, somebody that's going
to be honest with you. Yeah, that's the whole key is they need to tell you the truth, because even watching yourself on video, you're going to be like, man, that was awesome, and then somebody else watches it and they're like, man, that sucks.
Yeah, post it on Facebook, see how awesome it is.
I wouldn't go public with it unless you're ready to take criticism, which whenever you take criticism online, always know that it's coming from an online source, and don't try to fight somebody online about it, because it's just a waste of time.
All right, now another thing I'm talking about, I want to go to the Indy Scene now.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm excited about this because as you know, I've been really getting big into Ring of Honor, and I keep blowing you up with all the crap that's going on in Ring of Honor. I'm like, oh, you gotta check this out, you gotta check this out, you gotta check this out. And I don't know if y'all know, but Ian is a very busy man. So I'm always texting him stuff. Check this out. Watch this link. Check this clip out. And so we've been talking about in Ring of Honor, they got a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. And I'll go over the card in a minute, talk about some different matches that I'm excited about. But one thing that I subscribe to Ring of Honor's YouTube channel and all their stuff, and go to their website and check all their stuff out.
Their brand.
Yeah, their brand. See? And Matt Hardy has been cutting these promos on YouTube. And now I know it's one of your favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
Okay. And, it helps you kind of favor Matt Hardy in a sense.
I used to a bit more than now.
But he's been cutting these really funny promos. Kind of serious, half joking, kind of stuff.
I follow him on YouTube and I follow him on Facebook, so I see some of the posts and stuff like that. And he tried to rap once, and that was interesting. Some things he does is good, but so you showed me
I showed you this clip.
Yeah.
Because he has a match coming up this weekend with Kevin Steen, and so he did this clip and this promo, and I was laughing I thought it was funny. I mean, because I was talking to you about it. And I'm like, you got to see this. What I'm talking about. And I pulled it up and made you watch it. And it's about 6 minutes long or something like that. But it's well worth the watch.
Yeah.
And not to mention his fiance isn't bad looking, and she's naked in the video.
Personally?
As much as nudity as YouTube will allow. But what I like most about it is he's not shy about saying what he's done or what he is, and he references in a lot of them how he's a multi-millionaire, and he's done this and that, and like one promo video he's just dropping like stacks of money. This promo video he's laying on a bed of just $100 bills, and I'm not going to mention what his fiance is doing to him while he's laying on the money, but it was a good video. He's very funny, I think. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great video. I mean, it's a great promo. I mean, it ties into our gimmick builder of, practicing your gimmick and practicing your promos, and really getting good on the microphone. And this is one that, because I never really thought of Matt Hardy back in WWE as somebody that was really good on a microphone. He has a really North Carolina accent. You know? I mean, we have a pretty heavy Georgia accent, but I mean, he has a pretty big North Carolina accent. So I never really thought of him as somebody that gave really good promos. But this was one of his best promos that I've ever heard him do. And it was really great just to see, him calling out Kevin Steen for this pay-per-view coming up. And, saying, we could have been great friends, but you screwed that up, and now I'm going at you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's a really great promo.
Yeah, so I would encourage, check it out. You can go to Ring of Honor's YouTube page. It should be like one of the first videos that pops up. I'm going to go over their card real quick. I am going to be reading this off their thing they're going to be doing. Now, the match card for the show, the show is called The Best in the World, and it's taking place this weekend. Now, the main event is going to be the Briscoe brothers fighting each other for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Yeah. Okay, that should be a really good match, I think. I've been watching and following them, and they're really good. Yeah. They're a little rough looking, which is just you should. I'll show you their picture. Now, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. The champions, Red Dragon, which is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly versus Scum. Rhett Titus, Cliff Campton versus Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. That should be a good match. The ROH TV Championship. The TV champion Matt Taven with Truth Martini versus Jimmy Jacobs versus Jay Lethal. Grudge match, Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen, one of my new top 5 guys now, versus one of your top favorites, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy.
Return match from Honor in the Heart of Texas that happened. Roderick Strong, which is really good, versus Adam Cole. Special challenge match is the Unbreakable Michael Elgin versus Sicilian psychopath Tommaso Campia, and I probably just screwed that name up.
Yeah, you're not Italian. You're Irish.
Yeah, I'm not Italian. I can't really. I can, but yeah. Now, tag team attraction, you got the American Wolves, which is Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, which I really like them, versus Adrenaline Rush, which is ACH and Tadris Thomas. Tadris? Am I pronouncing that right?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Then the grudge match, you got BJ Whitmer versus the prodigy Mike Bennett with Maria from WWE back in the day. Canellis. Obviously, I can't read. But, yes, I mean, to me, all in all, it seems like it's a good match or a good card. And, I can't wait to watch it and see what we have going on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Kevin Steen Matt Hardy match is going to be one of the probably top matches of the night. But I mean, Ring of Honor always does an amazing show, and
the fans really get into it, and they throw streamers when they come out. So the referee's constantly cleaning up the streamers, and they chant. And I've told you this before, and I've told y'all before. It really reminds me of ECW. Yeah. Because they really get into the chants. They really get behind whomever they're behind. They they're just really all about. They're very enthusiastic about what's going on and about the wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm excited.
And any type of indie promotion can have that. You just have to really build it up to that and really have the talent, to help build that type of organization. It's not going to come overnight, but any type of promotion can really build that type of fan base.
Yeah, I mean, they've worked really hard,
Yeah.
I did hear some news, since we are talking about Ring of Honor, even though he doesn't wrestle for Ring of Honor anymore, and hasn't for a year or so, maybe a little bit longer. And I hope it comes true. We was talking about it right before we started filming, is when we saw it, is CM Punk is trying to get Colt Cabana like an announcing job at WWE.
Yeah.
I think that'd be funny. I personally listen to his show. And I think y'all should check it out. He's very funny, very, very funny.
Yeah. Well, if you ever watch the CM Punk documentary, he's a big part of why CM Punk is where he is, and so that's why they're still, best of friends. And so Colt Cabana, he's a funny guy. He won't be able to use his explicit tag in the WWE, but, I think he would be a really good commentator. Hopefully they don't throw him in the background or something.
I just got this DVD, let me rephrase. My brother just got this DVD, and he just kind of showed it to me in passing. I don't remember the name of it, but it's from a couple years ago. It follows for 10 days Colt Cabana, Daniel Bryan, and some other wrestler. I can't think of who it is. And it's when Daniel Bryan had just got signed to WWE.
Yeah.
And so it's like a 10-day stretch of Daniel Bryan's farewell. And I'm telling you, I've never really laughed at a wrestling DVD before, but I was laughing because it's not just matches. It's they're following these guys. They're riding around with these guys, with cameras up there in the back, and you kind of see behind, the curtain kind of stuff, and they're funny.
Yeah.
And just the stuff that they do. I mean, I've always thought Daniel Bryan was funny, but he's funny. He's really funny. So I'm gonna watch it again. I'll watch it together, and then we'll probably do a little expose on it, on the show and tell y'all about it.
Yeah,
because anything wrestling related, independent wrestling, we want to tell y'all about. Anything y'all want to hear, just please let us know. Drop us a line.
If you know of a DVD or something that
maybe we should check out.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a review section on on some indie DVDs and stuff like that. Yeah. So
all right. Well, so we'll finish that up. I'm excited about the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to check it out, and we'll talk about it probably next week on the Indy Scene.
Yeah.
Or something. Now we have a new segment called the Ref Builder. Okay, and what we want to talk about is
basically just ways to help out referees. We're going to do this it won't be as common as a gimmick builder or a promotion builder, but ref builder, we're just going to really try to give some tips to referees, because a lot of referees are thrown in, especially in the indie scene, are just thrown into it because they're an extra guy around, or they're training to be a wrestler, and so they need a referee. Referees are not always trained properly.
Well, I mean, I'll give a prime example myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about this on the show or not before.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that before.
I rode with Ian to a show. He got booked to do a show in Tennessee. So I rode up with him. And it was one of our friends who's on ringicon.com. Check out his profile. His name's Casey Cage. It was his show. He was running it. He wanted Ian to come up and do the show. So I tagged along. Well, one of the referees couldn't make it or something like that. And so he came to me. He's like, "Hey, Daryl, can you ref?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, really, to me, it didn't seem like it's that hard a job. Of course,
referee.
It's a lot harder than what it looks.
Hard.
I'll tell you that. But I had a moment in there, and this is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
not pulling the count. Okay, is because I'm a big believer in you always count. Okay, don't ever what I mean by pulling the count is you go 1, 2. And they haven't quite kicked out yet, but you're already stopping.
Yeah, you're
because
pausing.
you know what the finish is and stuff like that. And see, I didn't pull the count, and I was involved in a match. There was 4 tag teams. It was elimination style. And so it was my first time refereeing, my first time at the show. I only knew a handful of people at this particular show because it was in Tennessee. And so the guy, and I knew who was supposed to win.
Yeah.
And so I counted the guy 1, 2, 3. He didn't kick up, and I'm trying to eliminate him. And he's like looking at me, like pulling me. He's like, dude, I'm supposed to win this. Da da da. I'm like, so it put me in an awkward situation. The crowd just saw me count him out.
Yeah.
You know, they know he's supposed to be eliminated, but I had to keep going because I didn't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of one of those weird things.
Yeah,
you know,
it was
you
just
really
a bad.
kick out,
It was
but-
a bad segment, and it's difficult because as a wrestler, sometimes you hear the count and sometimes you don't, and so that's why referees, you need to be as loud as possible, yelling out 1, 2, 3 as you're hitting the ground 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? And when there's a count out, I'm always worried about people getting counted out outside. You know what I mean? Because I see indie shows and the ref is so quiet and he's like 1, 2. When you need to be yelling out, 1, 2, and really getting it out there to them so that they know that, they're going to get counted out at 10, at least to roll in and reset the count or something. But, as a referee, you need to be very loud and very involved in the match because you are the key ingredient to a match. There's no beginning, no middle, no end of a match without a referee. I mean, wrestlers are obviously the number one in that category, right behind, number 2, right behind a wrestling ring. Because
well, I know we've talked about this, and we actually talked with a wrestler the other day who feels that the referee shouldn't know the finish and stuff like that, and he and I we disagree with that. We think the referee should know all the spots in the match. So one, he knows where to be at, he knows when to get out of the way, he knows what to look for. But the main thing
he makes a good valid point where, as long as the wrestlers are doing their job, the referee, he has a good point for the indie scene because a lot of the referees are thrown into it and they don't really know how to referee.
Yeah.
So, that does make a sense. The referee can just be tossed in there and not know exactly what he's doing as long as he counts the 1, 2, 3 and the wrestlers, do their job and kick out before the 3 count. That's their responsibility. We understand that aspect of it. But if you want to put on a show, if you want to go to the next level, you need everyone that's involved in the match understanding the match. The referee needs to know the beginning, the middle, the end. If you have some spots that he needs to watch out for, then he needs to know so that he can be involved in that. Not just the watch out for this move.
Yeah, but the main thing is don't pull your count.
Yeah.
Count. It's up to the wrestler to get kicked out, or for them to kick out, and if they don't, then they blew their spot. They blew their match.
The reason people started pulling their counts was, one of the main reasons is because WWE does it. But the WWE can do it because 90% of their audience is on TV. And if you notice, they always switch cameras as a count is going on. Yep. So at the end of a 3 count, they'll switch cameras and that ref will be throwing his arm forward instead of going down. He'll do like a forward push instead.
And they all have earpieces.
Yeah. So WWE, I hate to say it, but don't try to reenact WWE in that aspect because until your fan base is 99% on TV or on video, then you don't have that luxury. So your audience is right there ringside. They're going to notice everything. So if you start to really slow down that 3rd count compared to 1 and 2, then it's just not going to come off that well.
Yeah.
So, but that's another thing with that real quick is referees know where your cameras are, video cameras and photographers, because you need to be out of the way for those things.
Yeah, as a referee, you need to be cognizant of what's going on in the ring, what's going on outside the ring.
You have a job
where
to
you
do.
Are.
So
it's a tough job. If y'all have anything else y'all want to add to that or think about it,
or if you really disagree with us on that,
let us know.
subject.
Like I said, these are just our opinions on what we think. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Some may agree with us, some may disagree with us, and that's fine. And we can talk about it sometime.
Yeah.
So now, I'll go ahead and go to the closing of the show. I think it was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
What I want to throw out there to y'all is if there's like a local show that you want us to come see or check out as Ring Icon, let us know. You know, we'll
anything
come up.
in the Georgia or Atlanta area,
Yeah.
we'd love to come and see it. I mean,
Absolutely. You know, I mean, even, you know, Tennessee some, you know, I mean,
Tennessee,
it's not that
Alabama.
far.
Yeah, Tennessee, Alabama. I mean, we can make it to those type of shows, and we'd love to see some of the local groups.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you know, please invite us out. We'll come check us out, or excuse me, we'll come check y'all out. Now
you can check us out.
Yeah, y'all can check us out. Now, next week's show, what we're going to be talking about is how to interact with the fans. And
that's
also,
going to be for the Gimmick Builder. We want the wrestlers and the promoters, or the wrestlers and the managers and stuff, to really interact with the fans and get involved with the fans.
Because that's very important, how you interact, you know. And also in Promotion Builder, we want to talk about promotional pictures.
Yeah.
So, and things that you can do for that to help build up your promotion, as always.
Yeah.
Do you have anything going on this week besides being busy?
Just being busy. So we didn't get it to go to a show this weekend. But, you know, last weekend was the NEW show. We hope that went well.
I heard it was really, really good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there's video online posted. If not, it should be up in the next couple of weeks. You can always check it out at newelitewrestling.com or their Facebook page. So
yeah, check them out. We're going to try and make a couple shows this weekend. I think we're looking at our books to see what we have going on. As always, we want to thank our executive producer Becca, makeup artist Trixie Rotten, our sound tech Garrett Michael, and catering by Nina's Catering Company, excuse me. And so until next Friday, I'm Daryl.
And this is Ian, and this is the Announcer's Table presented by Ring Icon. You remember to check it out on youtube.com/ringicon, ringicon.com/podcast, and on iTunes at just searching for Ring Icon. And also, if you have an Android phone, you can always check out the app on Android Market or on the Google Plus or Google Play Market. So,
all right. See y'all next week.
See ya.